Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Bloodstained Wings, and it's that time of year again. I'm going to be making a calendar. This calendar is going to have a very strong video game influence, which I hope you guys can figure out, and it will be available for pre-order starting now. In this video, I did want to show you an oil painting of one of the paintings that's going to be in the actual calendar. As you can see, it is a mountain painting, hopefully reminiscent of basically nothing. But when you see all of the paintings together, then you will see that it is reminiscent of a video game that is very near and dear and close to my heart. If you would like to pre-order this calendar or even just preview it, there will be a link below, hopefully when this goes live. And thank you so much for even looking at it. And if you want more information, please feel free to ask in the comments below. And if you just want to enjoy me doing a mountain painting, please feel free. And if you would like to paint along, the oil paintings that I used in this were alizarin crimson, yellow ochre, titanium white, and phthalo blue. I mixed the phthalo blue in with the alizarin crimson to make the purples, and then the reds are all mixed with alizarin crimson and yellow ochre, and then there's just white. So there you go. Okay, so as you can see, I started this painting off on a black canvas, and I have covered the whole thing in liquid clear, or Magoop, Neo Maglip Goop. And red. I used alizarin crimson to do this, and then I'm gonna get real crazy with it and just immediately start adding some blues and just try to make a purple off on the top here, and we're just gonna play and we're gonna have fun. Yeah, because I want to have a purple sky that then maybe blends into, because I want the purple down here as well. So I'm just gonna blend. There's gonna be a lot of blending. I wanted to start off though with the red already done, because I figured that would make this go a little faster. That's what I thought anyways, was that it would go a little faster if I started with the red and then made it purple as we went. So hopefully we've got a solid blue there in the corners that is then blending into a beautiful purple color. That's what I'm hoping for. We're gonna see what happens in the end, because that's always how this works. So, okay, let us grab some white. And I'm gonna grab a fluffy brush, and I'm just gonna try to make a horizon. And I'm gonna start in the middle because I want this to be my brightest spot. And then I'm gonna blend outwards. There's that lovely purple, which is exactly what I wanted. And it's blending very nicely. Getting very nice and dark on the outside, which is great. We want that. And now I'm gonna go, it's not fully blended, but that's okay. We're gonna go back into the white, into the middle again, and then we're going to spread out the white on the other side. It will start to pick up the other colors as we go here, which is great. That's exactly what we want. And now I'm gonna use a larger, well, not larger, but a fluffier brush. And I'm just gonna continue to blend that out. Again, starting from the middle, we want the middle to be the brightest. So that's why we're starting there. And then we're just going to blend out. I'm gonna go over this with a bigger brush as well, so to try to remove any of the brush strokes that are currently going on, but I want this to be the horizon area. And then I want it to just very softly fade out into the darkness around it. I'm gonna come back in with the brush actually right now. It is really applying more paint than I thought it would. There we go. Apparently I just darkened everything back up. So, I'm gonna clean my brush and see if I can just blend some of this away. It's easier to blend with a bigger brush, but I am down some brushes, so we're just gonna blend with what we've got. But that is more along the lines of what I wanted it to look like anyways, because I wanted it to be dark and mysterious, but I also wanted there to be this like lovely bright spot in the middle to help you to see what is going to happen behind here, which is going to be a mountain. We are going to be painting a mountain. And I'm very excited to get to the mounting part. This part literally doesn't matter. It's gonna be so hidden by the mountain. I'm literally gonna be painting a mountain right over top of this, but it's important so that you can see the mountain because the mountain's going to be very, very dark. So we have to have some light in order for the darkness to show. That's how this works. So we catch some of these and then we just drag it up into the sky so that it picks up everything. Yeah, that's looking nice. There we go. Okay, so we have a beautiful sky that is just very calm and quiet, and that's what we wanted. We wanted a calm and quiet sky. And now I'm gonna make a purple. I need more blue in my purple. Surprisingly, I don't normally need more blue in my purple. That's not normally how that goes, but that's okay. Here we go. All right, we got our mountain and we're just going to try to paint a mountain. I want this to be a fairly vertical kind of mountain with some ridges, but mostly vertical, so that it kind of gives that Mount Doom kind of vibe, except that it's Death Mountain and not Mount Doom. So it's kind of a lonely mountain because it's all out on its own, which is in general the idea for this mountain. So this is the shadow part. So I'm just going to kind of blend out all of these colors that I put on with the palette knife. And then this is our highlight side, which we're going to eventually make an orange. I want more dark, I think. This is kind of how we're laying out our mountain. See how it already kind of looks like a mountain? That's important. You also want to make sure that the line that you see that is because mountains are kind of diamond-y-esque shaped. You don't want it to be straight. You want it to have these variable edges. That's really important when doing mountains, just in case you want to know. Really important. So I'm going to try to make an orange with some colors here. And it's hopefully going to be orange and not just red. Oh, I've made it like a peachy color. Oh, it's really nice actually. That's a really nice color. All right. So I'm going to start with the highlight. And we're just going to highlight this mountain very delicately. When doing a mountain, you want to have a little roll of paint on the edge of your knife there. And then you want to follow whatever lines and angles your mountain has. So see how mine like goes in this way? So now I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna just kind of edge that guy out like that. So we have that mountain carving in that little extra space there. And it doesn't matter if I go over top of this because I'm gonna come back in with a darker color. And now I think I'm gonna come in with some highlights of some actual just more of like a yellowy mixed color just to highlight on top of this. Really give it a little sunlight kissed on the edge there. I think that's, oh yeah, that looks, oh, why is it blurry? Oh, hang on, let me see if I can unblurryify that for you. There you go. Now it's not blurry. You're welcome. I didn't realize it was blurry. I'm sorry. When doing these highlight colors, you want to make sure you don't overmix your colors so that they are very nice and soft. All right. I'm going to use the same purple color that I have as the dark, but I'm going to add a little bit of white to it. So it's just a little bit lighter than the like sheer black that is on there. Just gonna come in and just snooch that right in there. Again, I'm just following the kind of lines that I already have on my mountain. And I'm making sure this color is not mixed. It is very, very like variable in the way that it looks. And that gives me a lot to work with when it comes to how this looks on here. Actually just gonna pull this part out a little bit right there. And just like that, you can change the shape of a mountain. It's kind of one of my favorite things about this painting technique is that you can just move an entire mountain, and I really like that idea. I don't know if you guys ever feel powerless in your day-to-day lives, but sometimes I feel very powerless in my day-to-day life, and painting helps me feel like I have more, I don't know, influence or importance. I'm going to take my brush here that I was using for the background sky. I'm just going to clean off some of the paint. I'm just going to very lightly, very, very lightly just mist out the bottom of this. Following the angles that I already have. So these ones go this way and these ones go this way. It's so quiet. It's so quiet. All right, I'm just going to very gently wisp that up the mountainside. Again, following those angles. It's very important. Follow the angles. And over here we go this way. Oh, and there we go. That's a mountain. That's how you do a mountain. That easy. Did you know it was that easy? Sometimes I feel like people don't know it's that easy. I just realized I missed an entire side of the mountain. I missed this little guy right here. There we go. Now he exists. There. Just didn't really exist before, did he? You know, I think there's a little shadow in here. I think should be its own little shadow area. Yeah. And you can just do that. You can just add little shadow areas as you want to whatever pieces you think deserve shadow areas. Oh, painting is so relaxing. This is so much fun. I don't want to stop. What we're gonna do what we're gonna do now that we have a beautiful sky and a beautiful mountain, we're gonna add some stars to the sky very gently. Whew, that was a little aggressive. That's okay. There we go. Very gently add some stars to our sky. And I do that with some of the paint thinner, so that's not the goop. That's genuine paint thinner that I'm using for that. And that's how I get that to be so thin. And now I'm gonna take some of the like original dark purple color and I'm just gonna add some little tree implications over here. I think it'll really help to just give the mountain some space to exist. And all I'm doing is just stabbing. There's just a little bit of stabbing happening, that's all. I'm actually like very low on that color and should probably make some more for this area here. So I will grab a little bit of blue and mix it with all the purple or all of the red that I have, because I don't have a lot of red left, but we'll mix it with whatever we've got here. We just need this color to be dark, really, so it doesn't really matter if it's purple, but I'd like it to be purple. But you can see it just gives the impression of some pines. Some very far away pines. You'll see that I am going up and down. I'm not just straight across. I'm going up and then down and then up and then down. It gives a little variation to the like tree heights. I'm also varying the amount of pressure that I'm putting on so that some of them are like a little bit fatter. But like if we really wanted, because I've run out of red and I would like them to still be purple. If we really want, we can grab a little bit more paint and we can take some of these and we can stretch them up tall and just do little zigzag pushes and make them stand out just a little bit, just to have a few that just kind of exist a little bit more. And you want to be very gentle at the top and then push harder as you get down towards the bottom, because you want the bottom to be bigger than the top, because that's generally how trees grow. So just a little bit at the top and then bigger at the bottom, like that. And just having a few of those here and there and here is really going to help your painting feel more alive. more loving, more kind. Now this painting is of a mountain, and it is in oils. It is not in gouache. I know I was gonna do a whole gouache journey and then I ruined it by doing this painting in oils, but I wanted to because this is actually going to be a painting that is available on my calendar. I do a calendar every year, at least I try to, and this year's calendar is going to have, we're going back to the basics. We're going to have a landscape painting, and the whole thing is landscape paintings, of which have a theme, which I hope you guys can put together on your own. They are all inspired and influenced by a video game. They're not necessarily specific locations that are hyper exact or anything like that. It's more just inspired by, like how this one would theoretically be Death Mountain, because there's always a mountain. Whether it's Tall Heights or Death Mountain is dependent on the video game, but the idea here was to paint a mountain that is a singular mountain out in the distance, looming off in the distance, that just gives this impression of it being a volcano, which is why it has this beautiful lighting here, which I hope is giving the right, I don't know, atmosphere for it being in that kind of area of that video game, so it doesn't necessarily give snow-capped as much as it gives like volcano, but it still gives a little bit of snow-capped with the side on here. So I mean, I was going for something a little bit more interesting, a little bit more diverse in terms of my painting here, but I hope you guys get the impression. I hope you guys really liked this painting, and I hope that if you guys do like it, that you think about buying one of my calendars. They are going to be available for pre-sale, I guess, like as soon as this video goes live. Yeah, September 1st. Yeah, that's hopefully I'm gonna have everything ready for that. So links below for pre-orders in regards to this painting and the calendar. Thank you so much, everyone, for supporting me and for continuing to support me. And even if you didn't buy a calendar or didn't want to buy a calendar, thank you for just watching this video. I really appreciate that. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This was so much faster than doing gouache paintings. Anyways, you are loved, you deserve to be loved, and I'll catch you guys next month. Mwah. Bye.